I always loved HBO. One of my favorite shows was Deadwood. And right, so great. And 6 Feet Under I really loved. So when I heard that there was a show with Alan Ball on HBO, and I always like vampires, I thought, yes, like let me audition for that. So I auditioned for it, and in the books, you know, Pam wasn't really a big part of the books, and so they had been staying very close in their concept in the first season to that. So they hired me for a guest star, possible recurring. And then I think as they went and they strayed more from the books, one of the writers told me that after they explored the Godric-Eric relationship, they realized how deep that was, and that Pam and Eric would have that deep relationship. And the Eric character took off, and so they then made me a regular. And really, they make you a regular once they're writing for you more, and they just need you to be available. So we did have an instance in season 2 where they called, and I just wasn't available. So I was in another part of the country even. So then that combination of their writing and we want you in town created the next 5 years.
And you have to think that the fans had something to do with wanting to see your storyline play out. And True Blood was such a phenomenon.
Yeah,
it just kind of came like an F5 tornado.
It was crazy. And I heard from Sam Trammell, you know, the first year at Comic-Con in San Diego, they were just sitting there like, hey, come talk to us. You know, we're this new show and it's kind of cool. And then by the time I went to Comic-Con, we were the Beatles, you know, and so it is interesting how the people who were there from the first day, how stratospheric it was.
I was at the Comic-Con with the True Blood cast. You guys were all there.
Yeah.
As press, I got hit in the back of the head because I would not move. The fans were so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for the concussion, by the way.
I was going to say, I feel bad. Sorry and responsible.
It's all your fault. I'm going to bill you. And now you're on Once Upon a Time as Maleficent. And of course, the character of Maleficent, it seems like it's had this big resurgence, you know, kind of with the movie and with the TV show.
Yes.
How's your spin on Maleficent kind of different than maybe like what Angelina Jolie did?
Yeah, you know, I didn't see the movie yet because I found out I was going back to play Maleficent once the movie was coming out, and I thought, oh no, like, do I want to have Angelina Jolie in my head? And it was the same thing on True Blood, where I chose to not read the books because the scripts were turning out to be different. I read the first book with the first season, and then they started to veer, and I thought, you know, I better just stick with the dialogue I have to say. So I chose to do that on Once, and you know, I got a makeover costume-wise where they went back to the original look, and that also the girl, the amazing singer Kristin Chenoweth, did in The Descendants. You know, they're the classic horns, and I heard in the movie they do have quite a bit of her backstory and why she became such a villain.
Right.
And we are doing that on Once as well with me. And I've just had such a blast. You know, I really have always loved working with Lana Priya. So I got to do more with her, and then I got to work with Rumpelstiltskin Bobby, who's amazing. And then Ursula and Cruella, those actresses are so much fun. So it's been kind of awesome.
You get to tangle with the best of the Disney bad guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's pretty cool.
So this is Wizard World Fan Fest. It's all about the fans. So we've got some of your fans over here that want to ask you some of their questions. Let's go right over here.
Hi, you're my favorite character in True Blood.
Oh, thank you.
Are you happy with the finale of True Blood, or do you wish it would have had a different ending?
For my character, it was perfect. I really was so focused on my Pam Eric storyline that I really didn't pay attention or lost perspective. I don't even know about the rest of the show. It was, in my mind, it was Pam and Eric, and I loved that whole storyline, all of it. Yeah.
Hi. I'm so nervous. You also are one of my favorite characters in True Blood. I love True Blood, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was wondering, like, you work in HBO, like in True Blood, basically. You work like a lot of like gory blood, like disgusting stuff. Do you have any fun stories or like funny, disgusting, gross, like whatever, those kind of like things? Remarkable story?
Yeah, for us it was very different than watching it, because if you got covered in blood, we didn't know the scripts came out right as we shot them. So we couldn't know if we would be covered in that blood for 4 episodes. And we took 3 weeks to shoot an episode. So for 12 weeks you would be covered in blood. So we would, by the end, be sort of selfish, and when they'd spray you with blood, you would go, not the hair, not the face, so we had all these characters covered in goo, but none here. And it was always comical, more comical than scary for us. Probably the most blood splatter I ever saw was first season when Long Shadow was killed. That was a hose that they taped to the side of Long Shadow's body, and they pumped gallons of blood onto Anna Paquin. And she was such a trooper. And right before they rolled on that take, the director said, Anna, keep your eyes open. Make sure it hits your face with your eyes open. And she said, okay. I mean, just everyone was game, always.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm going to go a different route and
Okay.
ask you about Once Upon a Time.
Great.
Maleficent's my favorite character. I just wanted to know if you were excited about this season, what your favorite scene has been so far.
Yeah, I really have loved the character. And after True Blood, it's a very sentimental thing to leave a show like that. And it felt really good to go to Once Upon a Time because I'd been on the set before, and Maleficent is such another great character. So it helped my grief. And I did quite a bit of work with the Evil Queen, with Lana Priya, on our backstory. And those days were awesome. Lana is such an amazing actress and such a fun person, and really incredible to work with. So those days have been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Kristin.
Hi.
My question is related to Once and your costumes. And you had some really good ones for the
Yeah.
little bit that we saw you in season 1.
Yeah.
How are you liking the change? We've been seeing spoilers all over the place, but how are you liking that change with the costumes from season 1 to season, we're in 4 now, with story from it?
Yeah, I really like it. I like going full Maleficent. And those costume designers, and then also the people who actually build them, because it's a really amazing skill to be able to make a collar that can stand up like that, and shoulders like that, and the costume has a train, and the helmet, I call it, the horns, is quite something. So I really enjoy it. And then my Storybrooke look I also love. They went very female gangster, which you don't see very often, and kind of classic styling. And again, they had the most amazing tailor custom make everything for me. So it's pretty incredible.
Hello. Pam is one of my favorite characters on True Blood. I think she's really good with one-liners.
Yeah.
Could you recite your favorite Pam one-liner for me?
Well, there might be children here. I don't see anyone too young. You know, I was fascinated and loved the more wrong they were. I thought it was pretty amazing. And I'm remembering, like, I really, of course, season 7, oh my God, I'm a Republican. It was pretty awesome. You know, every year there would be one that I would think, this will never air. Like Gash in a Sundress, I thought that will never air. And at the table read, Anna would look at the producers and go, really? Really? And in season 7, like when I said to her, you're like a fungus that just won't go away. She goes, I can't hit her? So, those are the ones that stand out at the moment, but of course, the Walmart was so awesome, and every year every script, they would outdo the last one. I would looked online and a fan put together Pam lines, and it was fun for me to reminisce and watch that.
Hi. With season 4B wrapping up filming, do you think there's an opportunity for you to stick around in Storybook for season 5?
I don't know. You know, I've read 20, but there's 2 more scripts that I haven't read, and I don't know how they're going to wrap it up for me. So it would be nice to have it open-ended, but I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah.
All right, guys, unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us. It's been awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristin Bauer.